I think it's all crap.
Well, that's why I like to go to debunk them, but at the same time, but this one, she goes, so there's three sides to every story. She goes, but your wife tends to pretty much make up her own story, and you've been going crazy thinking that it's all you. There's the bus again. And you've been going crazy thinking that maybe it's something you've done. No, it's her. She is a horrible person. And then she goes, she's physically abusive. But yeah, she's a liar. Yeah. She described her to a T, and then she told me this. She goes, be careful. She is going to try to hurt you. She is going to physically try to hurt you. Watch your back. And that is one of the big things I've been saying since we ended the relationship, is that I fear for my life because she's a sociopath. And she came out and said that.
That is awesome.
Well, yeah.
She has true insight into the world. That's amazing.
Yeah, she said something about you too.
No, she did.
Yeah, she did.
No,
You're a
she didn't.
penis.
She said, tell that bearded cum guzzler that...
Wow.
I'm just kidding. She didn't say bearded.
Wow. She said, watch out for buses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, she actually said a few other things that really kind of knocked me back, which is... she described my son, and a month ago, I had a dream that my son, at 6 months, was standing and was talking up a storm. Like, he had this huge vocabulary, and I woke up going, my kid's a fucking genius.
He's a genius.
She goes, your son is going to be unbelievably brilliant, and they're going to try to put him on medication when he's young because he just can't handle being still, and, be careful. July 9th?
Nope. Unfortunately not.
No.
Please walk by my house. There's a camera set up.
The reason I'm so heavy into psychics, though, because all my life I have had psychic dreams since I was 4 years old. It's my first memory in life is having a psychic dream. And I've had dreams with premonitions my
What's
whole
a psychic
life.
dream? How's it different from a dream?
Well, a lot, because I'm obsessed with dreams, because I want to open a dream research clinic someday. A psychic or prophetic dream is a glimpse into the future, and you're able to you're able to unlock it and figure out what's to come. And I've unlocked other people's dreams for them, and I've done it for myself of future events.
That happens to me when I get stoned sometimes. Like for the recall election, I was sitting in my living room and I go, someone just got slapped. And then Barrett was slapped.
That's not a dream. That's just a feeling of...
That's politics?
I'm saying I have literally, asleep, had dreams where I woke up and I write them down and I study them and then I say, okay, this is what that dream meant. And usually they happen between 8 months and 14 months is the timeline for them coming true. And I've got a history of...
you got these written down somewhere?
A lot of them, yeah. And the people who...
How come you don't start a blog and write this down?
Because I want to wait till I have my dream research clinic. I'm like...
Why? Why not do this? Write it down, and when people start seeing it and start sending you baskets full of money, then you'll have your dream research clinic.
I have a lot of them that I had written down, like on MySpace and stuff like that. And they've come to pass, and I also...
Have you gone back then and said, okay, this is what I said back here on this date. Here's the link to it.
I have some that are in my mom's safe that I got and print out, but I can't remember I tried going in there last week. I can't remember my password. And I put in, send me my password, and they never sent it to me.
Hey, go see a psychic. Maybe she can find your password for you.
But no,
I can probably figure out how to get in there.
You can talk to my brother. You can talk to my mom. I had one 2 weeks ago. My dad was sitting there, I went over by my parents' house, and he was assembling some kind of crap he got at Menards, and I'm like, unbelievable. I just had a dream about this. He goes, what? Because it freaks him. Here's the story. One time I had a dream that my
3 days ago, my mom told me my dad was going to Menards.
No. This is like...
Those are lovely dreams.
I had no idea. My dad bought some kind of like irrigation thing for the flowers. And I'm like, okay, I had a dream that you were assembling something like that, and that it was over $100 that you spent, but that particular thing was $39.95. And he just looked at me and goes, you heard your mother and I talking about that. I'm like, and up until this point, I had not talked to my dad in 2 months because we had gotten in a fight. So that was like the second time I'd seen him in 2 months.
So you could be receiving lottery number signals, and instead you're receiving the prices of products from Menard.
But it was all intertwined into one big dream. Actually, it was kind of symbolic. But one time, what year was this? In 19.
Sleepy.
95, 94, I had a dream that my grandma died in a fire in our apartment building. And I woke up and I told my dad, I'm like, Grandma's going to die in a fire. He's like, yeah, because my whole life, he just looks at me like I'm a freak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's going to happen around probably Easterish, give or take a month. And then I had 2 or 3 more dreams in that period. And then he goes, yeah, whatever. And then one morning, we're sitting there watching TV, and the phone rings. And before I answered it, I looked at him. I go, it's for you. It's about Grandma. He goes, haha, yeah. He picks it up, and his face, just all the blood dripped out of his face. There was a fire at my grandma's apartment building. But the apartment manager, who was on vacation, came home a night early. He wasn't supposed to be home, but they screwed up his plans. So he came home a night early, and if he wouldn't have been there, she would have died. Because he's the one who got her out of there, because she's in a wheelchair.
So what you're saying is your grandma didn't die in a fire.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my point. If allegedly this is all accurate, and you say, I'll write this down once I get a dream research center, because that's such an easy thing to do.
I write dreams down constantly.
So create a website, Jeff's Psychic Dreamatorium.
I don't want to be crappy like that, because then that kind of... I want to do it where people aren't going to be... People will have enough BS about it where they're always trying to talk smack about it. Yeah. I want to try to bring something more to the table, because dreams, even if they're not prophetic, they're deeply profound, and they help you through psychological times, and they help you get answers through your life.
Do you ever have a sense? Do you ever have a sense that you're missing your calling in life? Do you ever go back and look back at something from like 10, 15, 20 years ago and go, I really should have been, that's where I should have been putting my energies? I think when you're 60, you're going to do that. You're going to go, you know what I should have done?
You think I'm going to make it to 60. That's adorable, Brendan O'Day.
There's no way to stop Obamacare now.
Oh, sure there is. Scott Walker is stopping it. He's trying to.
No, it's socialized medicine's coming. There's no way to stop it.
But it's not socialized medicine. That's the point. That's the problem with it. It's not free health care.
Yeah, well, but that's
what America.
We also were never going to have smoking bans. That's not what they were after. They just wanted you to know the health effects of continuing to smoke. I'm talking about the incrementalism that goes along with any. Yes.
There's no way they're gonna go to socialized medicine when they're able to rape you of $500 a month for insurance, because that money's going right back to the government. It's going to the insurance companies, but guess who pays the government after they get their money? The insurance companies. They're not going to go on a tax-based payer system at all when they're going to be making trillions off of humanity,
but no voter sent that to them. It will happen, because if they can control... What?
It already passed. It went through and they upheld it. That is the insurance
Right, but it's a private payer system.
But the insurance companies still have to pay taxes on it, and you are still going to have to buy insurance whether you like it or not. Otherwise, you get taxed.
I'm not talking about that.
That's why we're not going to go to a socialized
I'm talking
plan.
about the power of an individual congressman or senator. That's the reason we'll ultimately have socialized medicine, so they can say, I brought that to you, now give me your vote and your $2,000.
That will never happen in this country. That will never happen in this country, because there is so much money to be made off of healthcare that all the doctors, everybody will band together and kill that one politician.
I'd like to know how many radio hosts in England and Canada said that will never happen.
England and Canada are two different things.
Before it happened.
We'll put a bet on it.
Okay, sometime before Jeff Lambton dies or I die. Why are you messing around with that? Just leave the microphone and stand alone. You do this everywhere. Jesus Christ. Leave it alone. You're sitting there picking it up before. It's a mic stand. It's supposed to sit on the floor. This isn't a bit. This isn't a comedy show. Sit and talk and get your hands off the microphone. Knock it off. You behave. I'm in here with a 2-year-old. Do you see how this microphone just sits here? You see how this microphone sits there? We don't touch it. We just sit here. We talk into the microphone.
I've got lots of energy, all right? And I've got
Jack
to do
off. I don't
something.
care.
All right.
Spend your energy elsewhere. No.
Everywhere I
Bet
go, I'm always getting yelled at.
is that we will have socialized medicine, a program that is part of your tax basis. I think it's going to happen, only because it's been talked about, and anytime the government has talked about something, it ultimately comes to pass. Now that might take 40 years, like all the smoking bans did. They happily put that underway in the 60s, and started putting warning labels on cigarette packets saying, "No, we have no intention of banning cigarette smoke." And now it's illegal to smoke outside in your own yard in the state of California. And if you have a child under the age of 18, it's been voted down 3 times in a row now, but it's 3 times that's come for a vote that if you smoke in a home with a child under 18, you can be charged with neglect of a child.
Now,
But you're in the home.
Here is one way to-
I was not neglecting the child if you're taking care of it.
Because you are being derelict in their health care.
you know how you can debunk your theory?
What? I'm not. What theory?
Your theory that we're going to have socialized medicine all based off of we started with the smoking bans, and if they want to do it, they can. Smoking bans and stuff like that the insurance companies are behind those because they're sick of paying out for cancer. They're sick of paying medical bills. They're sick of paying all the stuff that we waste because we smoke. It's all designed by the insurance companies. The insurance companies are not going to want social health care because they are going to lose trillions. Tell
I'm
me
not
an
using
company-
the tobacco anti-tobacco campaign as a segue into
No, you're
socialized
saying,
healthcare.
but-
I'm using it as an example of incremental societal changes, societal common thought. That's all it's about. It's like the notion of airbags. The number of airbags when Elizabeth Dole was the head of the National Highway Transportation
Insurance
Safety Administration.
companies. Everything is insurance companies.
My friend, you can keep drawing this conspiratorial theme behind this. It's not. I'm not trying to make a
No,
conspiratorial
I know what
theme.
you're trying to say.
I'm saying that in life we have accepted incrementalism,
Right.
And all you have to look at is the original proposed ideas
Right, but you have to
and
look
what
at
they denied.
you have to look at what's at stake if this were to happen, and you have to look at who's behind half the stuff.
That is true. You have to look who's saying it at the time where more people are listening to.
Then tell me what's happened in England and Canada to the insurance industry.
I don't know.
It's stronger today than it's ever been.
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah,
that
it is. You know why?
they're broke.
The costs. No, not the
broke.
insurance companies. Their healthcare system is broke, but not the
they're
insurance
broke.
companies.
The whole damn nation's
No,
broke.
but not their insurance companies. Why? Because managing healthcare is like running a grocery store. It operates on such a small margin that you can face more catastrophic losses in a healthcare year than you can in almost anything other than natural
Are you on
disasters.
crack? If you have 500 people who all had a $500 a month policy, what's that, $6,000 a year? And all 500 people went to the hospital for 2 visits and had to get 3 tests done, they're all of a sudden dipping in. Now you got an entire nation. There is no way for an insurance company to be making money off of this because the government doesn't pay them the full amount that they are asking for. They give them a percentage. That's why private care doctors don't want any of this because they're not going to get any money.
Right.
Another reason why the European and Canadian healthcare systems are working a lot better than America's.
They're not, but
It's because that when you go to medical school in those countries, you have to
house.
No, you have to be a general practitioner,
Practitioner, yeah.
practitioner. And in the United States, a lot of people specialize their first in medical school.
And if their
They
healthcare
don't have
system is
to-
so good, why are people coming to the United States to get help?
Because
okay, these are kind of hackneyed descriptions, and my point is this: we have anytime the government or a whatever's been proffered or denied ultimately comes to pass.
which is true. And I'm not disagreeing with that, because it just depends on who's in charge at the time and who's behind, like who's supporting that issue.
And
because Nader was behind a lot of the GMOs and the seatbelt safety, and that wasn't a big deal when he was trying to pass those laws.
There's still government politicians that would like slavery to come back. I don't see black slavery and indentured servitude. I don't see that making a comeback. There's Southern politicians that
minimum wage is $7.75
you don't have
an
permission
hour.
to beat people with that. I'm talking actual slavery, like back in the pre-Civil War era.
You just said there are congressmen who believe that. There are government officials who believe that.
Yeah.
Name one.
I just had her on. I was just watching an article about her too. I don't know if I can get it on my phone's history. She's a Democrat on top of it. Not everything is going to come to pass.
So what about alligators? I've heard some cool things about alligators. Like they get confused with the crocodiles sometimes.
Wow.
I'm just gonna try to segue away from that.
I'm going to read this one last disclaimer. You've been listening to Extemporadio. This is Brendan O'Day. I'm the producer of the show. These things that you've heard over the last 2 hours are wrong, deviant, and terrible. And they represent the views of Extemporadio and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio or its affiliates, and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program, nor calling seated congresspeople slave drivers. Anyhow, that's been our show for July 9th, 2012, and we have totally enjoyed talking to you tonight. This has been a crazy, wonderful evening. My thanks to Jeff Lampton, to Steve Breeze, to Jason Evans, and to Kathy Nichols for making tonight what it was and profligate.
It was something.
But please, anytime.
It flew by, didn't it?
It sure does.
It flies by.
It's an awesome thing. So tune back in here next Monday, 7 p.m.
And I will have dreams. I will bring in dreams out of
Jeff Lampton's we're gonna do a Jeff Lampton dreams section.
I had a dream about Aiden Rady.
You had a dream about Aiden Rady?
Yeah, he's doing really well.
In your dream?
Yeah.
In your dream, he's doing really well.
Got a haircut.
If we could figure out, we might have to Skype him in and get him to.
I loved it.
Get him on the radio.
Or get his girlfriend to pay for us all to go over there.
That would be awesome.
We'll just take microphone.
We'll do the Extemporadio live in Japan. Yeah. This has been Extemporadio on RiverWestRadio.com. Thanks, everybody.